Leslie, I'm on a player bus, and the Caps are boarding right now. Does Luka have any idea what Dad does?
I think he loves playing hockey at home, so he has some idea.
As Mary said, right now we're seeing between 2 and 4 inches here in Fredericks.
They say they're not too concerned because of this levee project. It won't be completed until 2019.
As you take a look at the Hearst right now that's coming down Constitution Avenue.
This is the staging area for all the buses that are coming in. Welcome back to Great Day, Washington. Today we are talking self-defense, and it's a harsh reality. 1 in 6 women in the United States will either fall victim to an attempted rape or rape. How to prevent that? Self-defense.
We got the cop! They rolled through the streets of D.C. like the conquering heroes that they are, cheered by an adoring crowd that filled streets, sidewalks, and even national landmarks to celebrate their Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals. You made it a point to get off the bus. Why do you want to be so close to these fans?
Well, I knew it was going to be crazy, but nothing like this. This is so special. There's so many people here, and we're all just having a good time.
5 days after they hoisted the cup, it was time for a parade the district had waited decades for. Do you guys know what you've done for this city?
I don't think we can obviously know what the emotions that the city goes through and people that have lived here their whole lives. I don't think we know, but we know how much it means to them and how important it is.
And to each other. Up close on that bus, it was clear that this group was more than teammates. They were friends, surrounded by family and wives and children, buddies who just happen to be the greatest hockey team in the world right now.
How much weight have you gained from the last couple days?
Yeah, couple beers for sure, a couple pounds. So it's been fun. We've been having so much fun.
Yeah, they weren't the only ones. Look at these crowds. I mean, they are going wild.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like I said, it's unbelievable. Could never imagine something like this for sure.
What is this moment like?
It's pretty cool being on Constitution Avenue and the best city in the U.S. and it's who would have thought?
Shooting that took place in the early morning hours. Just after midnight, police were called to this parking lot near Main Street in Stroudsburg.
He went by in a hurry, but it was still him, the Holy Father.
I will not raise middle-class taxes.
We'll build a wall. Don't worry about it, man. We'll build a wall.
From the air to the ground, hundreds of members of law enforcement descended on this small neighborhood in Foster Township.
Unbelievable. I'm down here 53 years in this house. Never got this exciting in my life. They chased the kids in and they told us that, not to leave.
Investigators say a man was holed up inside a garage here. They believed he was armed. Freeland Borough, Butler Township, Whitehaven, and state police moved in. People in nearby homes told to leave. This woman lives just doors down from the standoff and found she couldn't get home.
We come home and to see all this, what's going on, we don't know. And I can't get in my house, so I have to stay right here. You don't see this kind of stuff around here.
After hours and without injuries, police arrested this man. Doug Bitzer of Freeland was wanted on charges he assaulted his girlfriend when police say he walked into her home, threatened her, and then took off, ending up in a friend's garage in Foster Township, leading to an hours-long standoff. When asked what happened, he said, Neighbors say they're glad it all ended peacefully.
I'm glad for that because I know the kid and I know his girlfriend. In fact, the girlfriend was born across the street.
29-year-old Frederick Joseph created a social media firestorm on Tuesday when he posted about wearing this T-shirt for one day.
So the shirt that I wore is a shirt that's a parody of the Washington Redskins logo.
But instead of a pro football team's name and mascot, it has...
Instead of having a Native American in the middle, it has a white man. And instead of saying Redskins, it says Caucasians.
Joseph, who is a marketer by trade, calls it a social experiment.
I just knew that people would be reactive to it.
But what he didn't know was how strongly people would react.
I've also never worn a politically charged shirt like this.
For example, one Twitter user wrote, "You wear that T-shirt around me and I'll knock you the expletive out." Yet another user wrote in support. Listen to Fred T. Joseph.
People were acting like they wanted to potentially fight me. I had older people asking me why I was wearing such a disrespectful shirt. If you had trauma in your community, or you had racial slurs, or a negative history that was used to sell tickets and placed on jerseys and things of that nature, how would you feel?
And 65,000 likes and 25,000 retweets later, I asked him,
will you be wearing this t-shirt again, Frederick?
I likely will. I don't know that I have to alone, though. If I'm not mistaken, I think something like 10,000 people went out and bought the shirt in the last 2 days. So hopefully there's a lot more people wearing it.
And so you just ran.
Yeah. The beauty of running is its simplicity. You need running shoes and the open road. It's one foot in front of the other, crossing the street or cross country. But before we get carried away with epic cross-country runs, we need to talk about your running shoes and how to choose the right pair for your feet, gait, and goals.
So you want that thumbnail width between the end of the foot and the end of the shoe.
Every day, Brandon, the store manager at Pacers Running, steers buyers clear of common shoe buying mistakes. Now let's address some of those common shoe store scenarios.
I don't need to try these running shoes on. I know what size I am.
Well, so for running shoes, we actually go up a half size because your foot swells while you run. And if you don't have that room accounted for, your foot's going to swell outside of the shoe constraints, and that's why runners lose toenails or get a black toenail or get blisters.
Look at this color. These are awesome. I'll take them.
So you shouldn't buy shoes for looks, you should buy shoes for function.
I mean, the more cushioning, the better, right?
For some people, yeah. I tend to like running in a softer shoe, but for speed workouts, a little bit of a firmer shoe is a good thing.
I mean, why do I need a gait analysis? I can imagine what I look like running.
So everybody's gait is different, and there's different shoes for each gait. If you pronate pretty heavily, there's a really specific shoe for that, or if you're very neutral, there's really specific shoes for that as well.
Take time to try on multiple pairs of shoes, ask questions, and try them out.
That's about right for you. Does that feel comfortable? Is that okay? Great, let's head over to the treadmill.
A good fitting shoe will start you off on the right foot and put you on the road to success to meeting your goals. Crews were out at Sandy Point Beach doing cleanup. Loads of debris made the water unsafe for swimming the past few days. This young man came from Virginia with his family to enjoy the water. He was a bit disappointed.
I love swimming. I came here just to swim, really. Even though we can't swim, it's pretty fun being out here, cooking steak, relaxing.
But good news, late Friday afternoon, officials reopened the waters, deeming it safe for swimmers. Park officials are keeping a close eye on the water.
Then we'll coordinate closely with the Health Department and the Maryland Department of Environment to establish if there will be a water contact advisory here or not.
Bright says it was the quick work of his staff and a supportive community that made this cleanup efficient.
We've concentrated our efforts with park staff and volunteers for the last 2 days, and we've done an amazing job here. The outpouring of support was wonderful. We've gotten the vast majority of the debris up.
And if you're wondering if there's anything you can do to help out, there is. Saturday morning at 9 a.m. there's going to be a volunteer cleanup effort to pick up any of the remaining debris here on the shore. Reporting in Annapolis, I'm Andy Hauser for WUSA 9.
Mixing, digging, hammering, and gluing. These local volunteers are super excited about this new playground in Congress Heights.
We're excited to be here today at the Arc building our 3,000th playground.
That's right, this is playground number 3,000 nationwide for the Kaboom organization, a nonprofit started right here in the district.
We believe that each child should have active and balanced play, and not only the child, but we know that it helps kids grow into healthy adults as well.
The first playground was built 22 years ago.
Building a playground is something all kids can understand, and it's a really neat way to get a kid interested in helping other kids.
Sarah and 7-year-old Harry Hirsch flew in from Chicago to celebrate this milestone. They have been involved with Kaboom for several years, and both are huge believers in the power of play.
And it really got us out in the community searching for different playgrounds. He loved it, and watching him change and develop, playing on all these different Playgrounds really got me interested in the purpose of play and how kids really develop so much from it.
Instead of birthday presents, Harry asks for families to donate money to Kaboom every year. He calls them Kaboom birthdays.
And so he's had 6 Kaboom birthdays.
Since Saturday, I've unloaded a container, a tractor trailer.
Breast cancer survivor Lee McCrary has been helping with the volunteers all week. She's not only focused on the personal development for the local children, but also their safety.
I see a lot of kids around here playing in the street. They don't really have any place to play. There's cars, and if they're not paying attention, kids can almost get hit, and it's happened around here.
Lee says projects like this help the community come together, and their work is almost done.
I've carried a lot of stuff over to the playground, and now today I have it easy. I'm picking up trash.
It's a balance of art, science, and a lot of emotion that drives us to do what we do here.
Joe Mullins is a forensic artist at the Forensic Services Unit at the Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
We're just trying to put out an image for somebody to see it and kind of squint their eyes and say, I think I know who that is.
Joe looks at the faces time hasn't touched. And with a digital pen, he pushes the years forward. Joe has the very important and very difficult job of digitally aging missing children.
The magic behind everything we do is more technique than technology. It's a manual, manipulation of these images.
With painstaking attention to detail, every aspect is done by hand.
We're going to take that 10-year-old and make them look 12. And to do that, we want family reference pictures, because everybody's heard at some point, hey, you look like your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, so that's what we need.
The process of digitally aging a child starts with that child's photograph. The reference photos also play a huge role in piecing together an aged image of a child.
Now, clicking back and forth, you can see similarities he shares, particularly with his, definitely dad's head shape, dad's ears, more of mom's nose, mom's eyes.
Closing this gap in the aging process is never easy for an artist. The younger the child, the more challenging the process can be. 3 years of age is the minimum they want to move forward with in age progression.
By age 3, your face is pretty much defined. The features that make you are starting to develop, so we can see that.
Joe carefully works on the photos of each missing child, while pictures of his own children are close by.
The unfortunate horrors that the world is capable of inflicting on children, and so having that knowledge and having pictures of our children staring back at me, that's just motivation to do my job the best of my ability.
I feel like I have come full circle.
Joe age progressed J.C. Dugard. You may remember she was kidnapped in 1991 from a bus stop when she was just 11 years old. 18 years later, and many age progression photographs later, Joe got to see the face he'd only been able to imagine.
She sat with me for like an hour and a half and wanted to see everything that we did here. So it was just amazing.
Watch as Joe shows us how he pieced together JC's age-progressed image.
And then going through the process of creating that age-progressed image. Then seeing the side-by-side comparison.
Missing 18 years, JC's story gives hope to other families.
I have a thank you note that her and her mom had sent me after a meeting that sits right beside my desk if I need a motivation for or reminder of why we're here.